Good morning, John Hawley, Seals and Recovery. I am still an alcoholic. We've grown to a couple hundred subscribers, right? A couple hundred subscribers. My technical guy is sitting over there, so I might reference some stuff through him. But it's growing, so if you haven't subscribed to Seals and Recovery, please do. Comments are welcome, positive or negative. I'm going to still do what I do at Seals and Recovery. This is a kind of an update video from my first video that we published. The first video is more of my personal story. This is going to be more of about Seals and Recovery, when we started, what we're doing, where we currently are, what our reach is, and what we're looking to do moving forward. Some general background again. On Seals and Recovery, we've been around almost 5 years. I think January of 21. So we're getting up to 5 years now. And we started it with myself and three other guys in my living room to figure out the mission, the focus, and the parameters of how we're going to execute it. And as discussed in some other podcasts, we're doing it in the AA format. The format is AA. If you've been to an AA meeting, you know how it goes. You got a preamble, you got some kind of devotional prayer, some sharing, maybe a speaker meeting, pass the basket around, burning desire, another prayer, and you punch out of your meeting. But that's essentially the framework of Seals and Recovery. But we also promote any kind of healthy recovery, and we've stated this many times, whether it's smart recovery, clinicians, clergy, any kind of a network that helps you. What our meetings and how they're mechanically designed, and that we appreciate and support all recovery, smart recovery, clinician, clergy, mentorship. We can call it. In teams, SEAL teams call it a swim buddy, shooting buddy, tent buddy, whatever works for you that you're getting sober in a healthy way. Along with AA meetings and your recovery in sobriety, I look at getting some other help as well. Therapy has helped me a lot. Navy Special Warfare Foundation has a great program for active duty, retired SEALs, and support people. They've been very kind to provide recovery. Shout out to the foundation. Where we currently are in SEALs Recovery, in our signal thread that we have for SEALs exclusive, we have about 40 members in it. Some are active in it, some are not active in it, some are passive, some are lurkers, some are drive-by, some are out there experimenting with alcohol, but hopefully they see our thread on a daily basis and they're getting something out of it. If you go to our website, sealsrecovery.com, you'll see more of an outline for new guys coming into the program. And also you'll see a soft recovery program that we have. And that essentially gets to a teammate or anybody in need that we could help. That entails 3 different iterations. And first would be not an intervention, but we get a call on somebody. We'll go visit them, see where they're at, if they want some help. To get sober, we don't force anybody into anything. What we do is we provide some outlets or lanes they can get into where they're going to help themselves out. And it's worked. Since the first podcast I did about 3 months ago, we put about 4 people into recovery infrastructures, inpatient recovery. And with that, 3 of the 4 people are doing fantastic. One finished his 30 days or 28 days or 31 days and figured that he still wants to experiment. So when we say we have a moment of silence for the sick and suffering, he's definitely one of them. And as of now, the prognosis is not great, but the other 3 are doing fantastic. One shows more of a holistic method of recovery, where it's just a network and his wife and family, and he'll show up to a couple of our meetings, but it's not a priority. And I work with him, and he's doing a great job. Other 2, they got out of treatment, and they're in our meetings and religiously, and are constantly commenting on our thread. with SEALs in recovery. It's been a bit challenging trying to figure out the footwork to get these guys into recovery. Many entities want to help because it is expensive if you don't have TRICARE like insurance from the military or civilian insurance. It's an expensive endeavor. So one instance we co-paid to get in there, and then the insurance paid for the rest of it. Other instances where other people have picked up the tab. But a lot of these organizations that want to help are constrained to different things that they can do to help. They might have contingency funds. I don't know. I haven't seen them. But so it's been a little bit challenging streamlining, getting people from wanting help into a program. I'll segue to a story that it turned out well, but it was definitely a challenging one. A teammate came to me with wanting some help. I share with our group conscience, our executive thread, we call it, and he really wanted help. And it took a day or two to get him into recovery. It took about 4 days. You risk not getting somebody into recovery, inpatient facility. You risk losing him if you don't do it quickly, because that window might shut quickly for the individual, and he might say, well, I got drunk. It sucked. I got some time now. I don't want to go. So it's important to pluck these guys right when they want help. So that's one of our critical paths right now, is when somebody wants help, to get them into his facility within the first 48 hours. This particular individual had more patience than me. He went to a bunch of AA meetings, and he was good, and he's doing really, really great now. And I congratulate him on his work. He's coming up on 3 months sober, which is 3 months is 3 months. Some people can't stay sober for a day. We've had some donations for SEALs in recovery, because soft landing is it's a little cost intensive. Nobody gets paid at SEALs in recovery, but we have to pay for guys to go meet these guys, and it may not be in Virginia Beach or Hampton Roads area. We've flown down guys down in Florida, Texas, Arizona, California, pay for the lodging, mileage, not their time, but it does become a little cost intensive. But it's going good. We have some funding. If you want to donate, just go to our SEALs in Recovery page. Since we've started, like I said, we got about, there's probably been about 80 people through SEALs in Recovery since we started. Some come for a day, a year, a month, whatever it is. Some stay the entirety of it, which is fantastic. We have several people that got sober in SEALs in Recovery that have their sobriety is substantial. We got one guy that got sober in SEALs in Recovery. He's got 4 years now. We have several others that have over a year, some at 2 years, and they're carrying the message to other teammates, which is so important. It works. It works when you work it, as they would say in AA. So, out of the 4+ years, had about 80 people through, 40 people on our signal thread that we continuously keep in contact with. Some respond, some don't. Our outreach has been a lot better, because we're seeing it's yielding results with us getting more people in SEALs in Recovery. So that is working, and we have to be noticed now. We're getting more. What's the word I'm looking for? Institutional entities connecting with us that are for real. Several special warfare commands have us listed on their help pages for suicide or addiction and stuff like that. I have doctors from within the community calling me, texting me, emailing me about getting people into SEALs in Recovery. We've seen a lot more proactivity from the foundations to help us get to where we're going. So we are now noticed and are a commodity and a resource that is being recognized, and we surely do appreciate that 100%. Because in the last month, we've had about 8 new members come in. Some out of rehab, some just off the street. Some had some sobriety before. Some have questions about it, but we're seeing our membership, if you want to call that, increase. And with membership, and diversity within our community and methods of sobriety. It's the Seals in Recovery program. The foundational commitment for SEALs and recovery for membership, of course, in AA is you have to have the desire to stop drinking. But once you achieve that, we don't tolerate in our group anything but total abstinence and sobriety. What SEALs and recovery is recovery through a program that is helping you with complete abstinence from alcohol, drugs. Now, there's a caveat to that, and it says in a big book. I'm going to break it down a little bit, not actually paraphrase exactly, is if you get a prescription from a doctor, that's a doctor in the United States that has a medical license in the United States, and you're prescribed something, that is fine. But if you're going out of the country to go to Mexico for a doctor to prescribe you hallucinogenic, well, that doesn't fly in SEALs and recovery. So when the guys are in SEALs and recovery, if you're doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, you might as well just, pick up another white chip because your sobriety's got to start over again. But that's our brand of sobriety, not the marijuana maintenance program. Not I'm going to go rewire my brain in Mexico. I'm going to dose some mushrooms. I'm going to maybe have some ketamine. We got the ketamine kids. We got the friggin' ayahuasca guys. We have a lot of guys. I can tell you one thing. And I'm not going to mention names. We have two guys in our program. One wound up almost dead from ayahuasca. The other went there, the ayahuasca route, about 5 or 6 times and wound up almost dead in a hospital. So that's where we are. That's where I am in SEALs and Recovery, is with this alternative methods of sobriety. So that's how SEALs and Recovery thinks about this. Now, we are partnered with some groups that are okay with that. And we make sure within that relationship what SEALs and Recovery is. That we don't promote it. We promote sobriety and abstinence from alcohol, controlled substances, and any other narcotic that is illegal or could be doing harm to your recovery. I got to the phase 1 about getting guys, but prior to getting help, us reaching them, a first touch, first contact, we call it, to see what they actually need and figure out what they need. We're going to support it if if they're really trying. And I've been sober. I'm coming up on 14 years. Doug goes with me. Usually he's got 20-something years. So there's guys in our program with 30 years. If you're familiar with Bud's classes, we got guys from class 51, which is Vietnam era stuff, to the 300s, which they just graduated. My 300th class anniversary was 365 because I was 165. So, we have everybody in there. So, so it's very, very diverse in the nature of getting to guys, talking to guys. So after we talk to him and, figure out what he may want to do, get him to rehab or AA meetings. The second individual that usually we encounter in our soft landing is a person that has been sent to rehab, and we get not sent voluntarily. This isn't gulag. It is not, you go at your own will, unless you've done something bad, then you're locked up. But we get guys, we'll get a call because our network is growing bigger, our exposure is greater, and our outreach is becoming, fantastic. We'll get calls on guys in rehab. So we'll make contact with the rehab, verify the guy's there, tell them who we are, send a guy, sober SEAL out there that's trusted with good sobriety, working a good program. Usually somebody from our executive thread. We might tap some other people coming up that are really doing a great job with their program to help and advocate. And we'll meet them where they are in rehab. We'll tell them what we are. We're not going to go barging down a door, preaching the steps, the principles. We're going to tell them there is a solution. This is what worked for us, the individuals in SEALs in recovery. Within the AA community, there's big book thumpers, there's anti-God thumpers, there's people who know the big book in and out, step junkies, tradition junkies, or people just like there to hear the message and connect with other people. So we're for all of it, whatever works, as long as you're working on your sobriety. So then we'll monitor them in their rehab and make plans for, if they want it, for when they get out, to take them from where they need to go out of rehab. And we almost demand it now, almost volunteer tell them, because we had an incident, and the guy's doing great now. The guy was ready, went to rehab. We got him in rehab. We went and talked to him. Fantastic frogman, great resume, good dad, everything else. Well, he did not want us to accompany him from rehab to his home state. And he said he's got this. And, the guy who we assigned to it was fine with it. I'm fine with it. We're good at it. Well, he gets back to where he's going, and he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to find the AA meetings. Might sound simple. You download, meeting app and tell you all the meetings wherever you are, globally. And he kind of just was sober for a little while, and he went back to his old things, where I'll explain another individual at a work for, but at a rehab. But what we should have done with this guy was we should have accompanied him. We should have went to his hometown. We should have went to a couple meetings with him. We should have got him settled. We should have got him a big book if he didn't have any, and just hung out with him and said, "This is the things you need to do." Home group, sponsor, sobriety date, and our regular guys, a lot in common. We're all through buds, so that's that. But we should have did that. On the other hand, we had another gentleman who we got to in rehab, and we talked to him, and we did a soft landing when he got out. And we took him to his place, transported him with a sober buddy to where he lived, and a couple AA meetings, met his family, talked to him the expectations about sobriety, temporary sponsor, sobriety date, make sure all his VA stuff squared away, and that guy has not missed a beat. So I have definitely reframed the sober escort, if you want to call it, from the end of rehab to wherever you're going to start really working on your sobriety and counting some days. The third person we get is I'll say 3A and 3B. 3A is they're out of rehab, just out. We catch them. We do what we need to do to get them integrated. It sounds like some military, infiltrated into our counterinsurgency. No, it is integrated into SEALs and recovery. Get out of local one Farley. Tell them when the meetings are. Guy, usually myself or somebody else, is local. Go do an intake with them. Have lunch, cup of coffee. A lot of guys in a meeting. You'll be surprised who's in our group, and then we get them. And then we have the third group who's who just hasn't gone to rehab but has some sobriety or wants sobriety, and then we'll meet them where they are. We got guys that come in that started the civilian pipeline of AA, and they just want to know about SEALs and recovery. We'll go do the same thing. Go meet them, cup of coffee, meal, travel to whatever, integrate them into a group, tell them what it's like, how it is. There was a funny story. One of the guys that came in, and with any group, whether it's SEALs or SF or car salesman or whatever, you like your own groups and you bullshit around a lot and this and that. This guy in sobriety thought it was just a bunch of SEALs sitting around talking about, the glory days with Bruce Springsteen on in the background. And he was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't that it was wide. We're wide open. I mean, because we're entrusted individuals. We went through SEAL training, earned a trident, and some guys got 1 deployment, some guys got 10. This a diverse mix of people in our group with SEAL experience, but it's SEALs talking to SEALs about sobriety, and they were relieved that it wasn't just talking about war stories and making that 1 foot fish that you caught into a trophy 5 foot fish. But that's kind of a funny story. So that was a good reflection back on us. So that's why I articulate a little bit about what our meeting's about. We will help anybody that needs help. I don't care if you're a civilian, a military member, what branch, first responder. Our names are out there. Our numbers are out there. Please call, be proactive, and we'll get you in the right lane. The people in our group that have long-term sobriety know a lot of people in civilian recovery, and we're glad to help you out. But we turn nobody away. The only exclusivity is our SEAL group. You have to have been through SEAL training, got your trident, and that's it. And we have every flavor. We got retirees, we got medical retirees, we got people that kicked out, We got people that kicked out for performance, piss tests, and they're not bad guys. Their resumes are fantastic, but what caught up there was their addiction. But their service records, a lot of these guys are immaculate. They are true American heroes that, everything just got caught up to them. They made some bad decisions, but a couple of bad decisions shouldn't define your life. The temporary points of bad decisions, and we move through that. As far as the future of SEALs and recovery, there's a couple things we're looking at. We're looking at a lot more interoperability with other entities that are preaching sobriety, that are symmetrical in our beliefs with absence and total sobriety. We are also connecting with different groups for mentorship. I'm helping some younger men out, underprivileged kids on entering the military from my perspective of how I got into the military. So we're branching out on some minor things. Our priority is helping, people get sober. The other things we're looking at is, some sober retreats for SEALs in recovery, where, once a year we get together. We've done a fishing trip. Evan Thompson's company, USMI, has sponsored a fishing trip. They're going to do it again. They've sponsored two. They're going to do it again. It's a great thing. But we're looking at some different venues to have, a retreat. Because again, we got a lot of guys in our group, and we got guys all over the place. Guys that get underway, Merchant Mariners. We got guys out in the Midwest, Texas, California. So it'd be great to get everybody together once a year, face to face, and talk turkey and talk sobriety. The other goal is to expand our platform, social media wise, and carry the message. With I do sober tip of the day. It's more like sober tip of the week now, because I'm busy with work, and specifically currently what's going on for my day job, what transpired in the last couple of days in the Middle East. So it's taken up a lot of my time. Our podcast, what do we got? 12? Yeah, we got 12. They're good. They're long. Some of them are long. And I got some civilians mixed in with SEALs, and it's all about recovery and hope, and why people got involved with SEALs and recovery. And there's some painful stuff on there for you to talk about, and I congratulate them for getting it out there and talking about it, because you're only as sick as your secrets. You get them out there, and it's a secret doesn't have to be a lie to somebody. It's a secret that you have internally that you need to get it out to somebody. And there's some powerful stuff on there. I encourage you to go ahead and listen to them. They're long, some of them are long, some of them are right around an hour, but they're pretty powerful. Nick's been doing a great job with the shorts, getting them out, and there's some really powerful stuff there that I got lost in during my conversation with these guys, because I know them. But I look back at this conversation like this is takes real bravery to get out there and talk about yourself. Fully just being a naked warrior out there, and then talking about your defaults and what you're doing about it now. We have so many success stories about people coming in and not having financially there's a mess, emotionally, relationship wise, relationship with the children. We have individuals that were fighting from day one when I got involved with them to see their kids once a month. Now they have half custody. Now they're carrying a message to other people that need that support, showing up to courtrooms with people to advocate for them because they're working a good program. But there is a way, and there's a better way. And we're seeing it in real time on a daily basis with SEALs in recovery. I really think within the program, within the infrastructure of recovery, meeting makers make it, and connection is protection. And the biggest successes I see in our group are people that stay connected, folks that go out and go to other meetings and talk to other people, because you hear some other perspectives. We have a diverse group within SEALs Recovery, East Coast, West Coast. They're all the team numbers, all the commands, all the ranks. So we're diverse in that aspect, but we're all SEALs. It's been helpful for guys to go out and go to civilian meetings because they're hearing some other perspectives from civilians about what they're going through, experiences they've had and overcome. And I'll reverse that equation. These guys are able to analyze, see what's going on, and maybe add something helpful to the meeting. And I can remember the minute I knew when we could be impactful as SEALs in recovery was I had a client out in Beverly Hills, and I got involved in the AA community out there, and he had asked me to be a guest speaker to tell my story. And within the AA infrastructure, I'm pretty much open kimono. I'm not going to tell you everything. Don't know who's out there listening, within a meeting, but I came on and said, John, alcoholic, I'm retired SEAL. I did some OGA work, and this is stuff, and this is my problems. And after the meeting, they're like, wow, I can't believe we have all these problems, just like civilians. I said, we have all the problems. We have all the problems plus some other ones. We get downrange and doing what we do and being away from families and everything else. And at that point, I knew we could be helpful, that we could be helpful in our messaging as sober SEALs. And I'm not discounting anybody else's sobriety, but this notion that SEALs are bulletproof emotionally, substance wise, operationally is a facade. We all have our problems. We work through them, and that kind of piqued my interest what we could actually do in the civilian community. And shortly after that, we started SEALs in Recovery, and we do a lot of outreach. The other things we've been doing on our agenda is to get some other groups started. We've been approached by EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal, some Green Berets, some other special operations and specialty groups to start their own AA, because I think it's important in recovery to be around some like-minded people that you can talk about. Like there's stuff when I came into our SEAL group that I would have never talked about in a civilian meeting, because they wouldn't understand. It's not like it's a secret. They would just not understand the notion of what I was saying. And, pilots have their own groups, doctors have their own groups, congressmen, senators, they all have their own groups. So all these genders have their own groups, so, SEAL group is good. So we've been also very interactive with other groups starting their meetings, and we will turn it all over to them. We will show them how we did it, how we got the LLC, how we do our connections, how we developed the website, what we do for our soft landing. We'll tell them anything to help another person out, military member. A lot of pain out there right now. Global war and terrorism has been over for a while. A lot of guys are still hurting from a lot of that stuff, and it bears looking at. And that being said, I will be the first one to say, because I have screwed a lot of stuff up in my life and sobriety, that alcohol is only a symptom of something greater. Now, I don't know what that is. I know what my background is, or unpacking what led to me my decisions, my bad decisions in sobriety, bad decisions drinking prior to that, bad decisions in retail therapy. I was filling in a big hole with a bunch of, self-medicating in many different ways. And I was totally sober. No drugs, no alcohol. So I will be the first one to talk about, with anybody that wants to talk about it, that sobriety is only a symptom of something greater. And I encourage you guys, as you get some sobriety and some time, to start looking at some of the other things in your life, as far as what were the drivers of you drinking more? What were the drivers of some retail therapy? What are the drivers of anything else you should be not doing that you're doing? So that's pretty much our goals. So our goals are, expanding our platform, getting the word out there, doing a better job on our social media, getting more viewers for the podcasts, of course, getting donations, interactivity with other groups that might want to start a specialty recovery group with any service, and just generally helping anybody out that actually needs it. Nick, anything else I should cover?
Where can we donate?
Oh, the donation page. I'm terrible with that. So you can go to SEALs in Recovery, the website. There's a donation page. Of course, on YouTube and iHeart and pardon me, Spotify, Apple. We're on all the platforms. Please like it, comment. I'd love some feedback. I know we've gotten better in our game, and we're getting better every week. And suggestions would be great. Anybody who'd like to work with us, that'd be great. We have plenty of guys that would love to help anybody out in sobriety. But
And how do we get in contact with you?
with me, the website.
Okay.
So if you want to get in contact with any of the, thanks, Nick, anybody in Seals and Recovery. Okay, so there's two numbers, myself and Evans. It's our personal number, and then also there's a link for an email, and I check it every day, and we will get back to you if you want to leave it comments on social media, on YouTube. If you want to DM me, if you want to text me, if you want to hit me on Signal, if you want to hit me on WhatsApp, just please do. Go get it. Start that new way of life if you're suffering from any addictions, alcohol or drugs or anything else, man. We've got a lot of experience in our group. Guys in their, 20s to guys in their 70s. So there's a lot of people been through to help out. A lot of years of sobriety, over a couple hundred years of sobriety in our group. So it's good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be part of that. I'm blessed to be able to carry the message. I'm blessed to be here in front of people who are watching this. I'm thankful for our 200 subscribers, our 50 or 60,000 views on our podcast and shorts. I'm hoping to get to eventually. We've sent Sean Ryan DMs on X. We've sent him registered letter. Hopefully he will respond, because I know part of his show is sobriety. I know Megan Kelly has had people on in sobriety in her show. I'd love to hear from her or somebody from Seals and Recovery, get on her show to talk about, what soldiers, sailors, airmen go through after they're done, and how it catches up with them, and how there's a lot of resources out there, and there's a lot of people who care about people. So, yeah. We're just trying to explain the platform and get it out to anybody who needs it, because it's a great way of life. We might be teetotalers in Seals Recovery, but we have guys doing real stuff still. The alpha male stuff. My day job has to do with a lot of the stuff that went on the last night and today with the Middle East. So I've been inundated, and I look like a crazy old man with my hair the way it is. I haven't slept much, but yeah, it's a good group with a lot of diversity. Guys are still going overseas. Guys are active duty. Guys are in training. Some guys are totally retired. Some guys are just working on Seals and Recovery. But there's a lot to a group. There's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of sobriety, and Seals and Recovery has a lot to offer for people who actually want sobriety and a better way of life. So, if you liked it, hit 5 stars. Is it 5 stars? Hit 5 stars. It'll help our algorithms, which is a whole other thing. Is we're trying to figure out the algorithms, when to drop the shorts, when to drop the podcast. We've had a mixed batch of it. I got to stop cursing, or we can't promote it. So I'm trying to clean it up. I'm trying not to talk about politics, so we can't promote it. So I'm trying to stay Switzerland with those two things. But no, it's a treat. It really is. It's been amazing. It's been amazing interacting with people that are like-minded and want to help people and actually get sober and have a new way of life. With that being said, John Hawley, Seals in Recovery. I am still an alcoholic. Everybody have a blessed day. Thank you so much.